talk about something we all hear about constantly, carbohydrates. But today, we're going to look at them in a way you might not have before, not just as food, but as the literal building blocks that make up some of the most critical stuff in our bodies. So, let's get into it. So, to get started, let me just ask you this. What do you think the sugar you spoon into your coffee, a glass of milk, and the crunchy fiber in a vegetable have in common? I mean, they seem totally different, right? One's sweet, one's a liquid, one is tough. What on earth could be the connection? Well, believe it or not, the answer is that they are all built from the exact same tiny, simple sugar bricks. It's kind of like Lego. You can build a car, a house, or a spaceship, but you're starting with the same fundamental pieces. And understanding these simple bricks, well, that's the key to understanding the whole world of carbs.
So let's start right at the beginning. Section 1. What even is a carbohydrate when you really get down to it?
Okay, so here's the official sciencey definition. But let's break that down. All you really need to remember is that a carbohydrate is just a molecule made from three things: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's it. From that incredibly simple recipe, our bodies and nature can create a wild variety of stuff.
Now, to really get a handle on those giant carbohydrate structures, we've got to zoom all the way in and meet the individual bricks they're made from. This is where the whole story really begins.
And that single basic unit has a name, a monosaccharide. The name literally means one sugar. And here's the crucial part. You cannot break it down into anything smaller. It is the absolute most fundamental building block, period. So yeah, let's just stick with our Lego analogy. A monosaccharide is like that single, classic Lego brick. It's the basic unit you have to start with before you can build anything bigger or more impressive. Now, here's what's so cool. Out of all the monosaccharides out there are really just three main players you need to know. First up, we've got glucose. This is the main fuel for our bodies. Then there's fructose, which you already know as the super sweet stuff in fruit and honey. And finally, galactose, which is a key part of the sugar found in milk. Just about everything is built from these three little bricks. So we have our single bricks. What happens when we start clicking them together? Well, this is where things really start to get interesting. The process is actually pretty straightforward. You just take any two of those single sugar bricks, our monosaccharides, they join up with a special chemical bond called a glycosidic linkage, and bam, just like that, you've created a disaccharide, which, you guessed it, just means two sugars.
And this is how we get the sugars you actually know from everyday life. You take a glucose brick and snap it to a fructose brick, you get sucrose. That's just regular old table sugar. A glucose plus a galactose gives you lactose, the sugar in milk. And if you stick two glucose bricks together, you get maltose, a sugar you find in certain fruits and grains.
Now, here's a neat little detail. The way these bricks link up matters. In sucrose, the parts of the glucose and fructose that are chemically active are the exact same parts they use to hold on to each other. Think of it like they're holding hands, so neither one has a free hand to go reacting with other things. It makes for a very stable little molecule. And hey, speaking of breaking those bonds, this brings us to a perfect real-world example. Lactose intolerance is what happens when your body just doesn't make enough of an enzyme called lactase. And the only job of lactase is to snap that bond between glucose and galactose in milk sugar. If you can't break that bond, you can't digest it, and, well, you know the rest. Okay, so we've gone from one brick to two. Now, let's zoom back out and see what happens when you link hundreds or even thousands of these simple sugar bricks together. It's time to meet the true giants of the carbohydrate world. So let's meet the two heavyweights of energy storage, starch and glycogen. Now, both of these are just massive branching chains made entirely of glucose bricks. The big difference is what they're used for. Starch is how plants store energy. Think potatoes, rice, bread. Glycogen is the animal version. It's our personal super branched bundle of glucose that we keep stashed in our liver and muscles for a quick energy boost.
But wait, there's another giant, and this one's a bit of an oddball. Meet cellulose. It's also a giant chain of glucose, but the bricks are linked together with a bond that's so tough, our bodies just can't break it. And that's what we call dietary fiber. So even though we can't get a single calorie of energy out of it, it's absolutely vital for our digestive health. So after all that, you've probably noticed that one little brick, glucose, keeps popping up over and over again. So let's wrap this up by focusing on just how critical this one single molecule is. It really is the body's VIP. It's very important particle.
Your body works incredibly hard, 24/7, to keep the amount of glucose in your blood within this very narrow, healthy range. So why is it so obsessed with maintaining this precise balance? What's the big deal?
Well, the big deal is this: your brain. For all of its amazing complexity, it's an extremely picky eater. It runs on pretty much one thing and one thing only: glucose. That's it. So, keeping your brain properly fueled is one of your body's absolute top priorities. And it isn't just the brain. For basically every cell in your body, glucose is the fastest, easiest, go-to source of fuel for making energy. It's what powers everything you do, from blinking to running a marathon.
And your body is smart. It doesn't let any extra go to waste. When you've got more glucose than you need for right now, it cleverly links those extra bricks together to form that glycogen we talked about. And it stores it in your liver and muscles. It's like a fully charged battery pack, ready to go whenever you need it. So when you really stop and think about it, it's kind of amazing. From the sweetness in a piece of fruit, to the tough fiber in a plant, to the energy that's powering my voice right now, it all comes back to a few simple sugar blocks, just arranged in different ways. And that really leaves you with a fascinating question. If a system this complex and diverse can be built from such a simple code, what other incredible systems inside of us are based on a similarly elegant and simple foundation?